Yeah.
Or another thing too, like generally more for like diorama building is like, how is your composition like in your dioramas, right? Like, do you guys do photo? Oh yeah, you guys photography, and so
Yeah.
there's a lot of photography principles that play in Gunpla as well too, right? Like in Gunpla diorama specifically, right? Like, do you follow the rule of thirds, right? Or like,
Mm-hmm.
usually as a general rule in your dioramas, right? If you have odd number of elements, it's better than even number of elements. So if you have two suits
Mm-hmm.
fighting, yeah, you can still have two suits, but maybe have like a third kind of dominant structure, for example, like a building or something, right? So that there's still a triad of pieces, right?
Oh.
Um, um, yeah, or even in your placement of your suits, right? Like most of the times when people first make their very first diorama, it's very linear, right? So if you have like a base, everything is just like completely straight, right? But if you just like tilt that a little bit, so rather than the road running straight from left to right, if you do it from the upper corner to the lower corner, it changes your perspective. Oh, yeah, like that. Oh, wow. Dude, on the ball. Like something like that where you just tilt the road ever so slightly, it it adds a lot more ability for you to tell story a lot more. So for example, if I made it just all straight, the the placement of the pole and the placement of the trees would be too parallel to each other, right? And it would just be boring to look at, you know. Like oftentimes when you're looking at movies, if the movie was just shot all the time, like straight on, it'd be a very boring movie to watch. But you know, like those really cool pans sometimes,
Mm.
right? Or from a different angle,
Yeah.
shot from a different, even in photography, right? Like if you shoot always just like a portrait of someone straight on, it gets really boring really quick, right? Like school photos and stuff, right? But if you just shoot it from a slightly different angle, it increases the interest immediately, right? And so I feel like a lot of these kind of like general art principles are really important in Gunpla, right? That might be overlooked a lot of times, right? And so
Mm.
really playing with like the angle at which you're posing, the angle at which you're making your dioramas, right? I think all of those things are really overlooked principles a lot of times. So sometimes people will look at a diorama and be like, what's off? Like something just seems off. And be like, have you ever thought of just like maybe tilting the scene a little bit, right?
Mm.
That in and of itself can already create a lot more interest. Or not only that, but like thinking verticality of your scene too.
Mm.
Like a lot of times everything's like a flat ground and then you have two suits fighting, right? Like, oh, what if like, you know, what if you added some verticality to that? Like what if you added a building in the background? Think like background and foreground, right? Different aspects, different layers to it, right? So anyways, those are some things that might be overlooked. Yeah.